Hi there everybody, hope you're doing well. I welcome you to this video which is about how to write an answer that will fetch you high marks. So in this video, we are going to give you a pattern as to what you have to keep in mind when you are writing a mock question in this exam. So what is the pattern to follow? What are the steps to follow? How to write a mock question? How much to write? All of that I have discussed in this video for you. Let me tell you that this is an actual class recording. So I want to give you a feel of what my classes actually look like. So we have taken an actual class recording from the August 2023 sitting. It is based on Daystruck, which was the pre-scene back then, but the pattern of writing remains absolutely the same whatever the case study. So we have taken a video from the August 2023 session and put it over here for you, which you can reference from, which you can understand from, because the pattern of writing, the structure of writing remains absolutely the same. Deeper into the course, if you choose to sign up with us, we will have material which is very relevant to the November and February attempt related to Robobryce specifically. All the questions that we do are related to Robobryce only. But this as a sample, I want to show you what my class looks like, what my discussion looks like, so you can draw value from it. And trust me, you can carry this pattern forward. It's just that for sample we have used Daystruck. On Robobryce as well, we have 25 mock questions which we are going to give you if you choose to sign up with us. But this is only a sample video which I want you to go through, but it will still help you understand the pattern of writing for any strategic case study exam that you are preparing for. Let me begin. Is going to be a new way of writing, new way of presentation. So it's very important that you go through the exercises, actually putting yourself in the situation and typing. Because without typing, if you're just orally going to read the answers or orally going to read the mock answers which we send, it's not going to help you. You will 100% have to practice and submit the mocks for marking. See, up until now, your mixed quiz, pre-scene quiz, I have extended the deadlines very happily for all of y'all, very happily, and not done any, counter argument or nothing like that, in spite of us agreeing on it. But with mock questions, there is going to be a strict deadline which you will have to follow. Because in the pre-scene quiz or the mixed quiz, you are receiving evaluations. Now, every student's submission will be personally marked, checked, and corrected, and we'll give you a score telling you what is good in your answer, not good in your answer. Now, naturally, if we are going to do this much detail, it's going to take us time. So for that reason, you will have to 100% stick to the deadlines that we decide, stick to the goals that we set, and I will agree them with you. It was not going to be anything unrealistic where I ask you to study 4 hours or do a 4-hour assignment. Absolutely not. But at least the homework which I give, your commitment should be that you will complete it in the deadline. Everybody's clear with me? Yes, in the chat box, please. Thank you. So now to mock question writing. On your screen, on the left-hand side, you see the first question. Because this is the first question, you will be solving it in a Word file, in a Word document. Because this is the first question. Second question onwards, you are going to be doing it on my exam portal, which is automatically timed to 60 minutes. And after 60 minutes, your answer will be automatically submitted to us. But because this is the first question and we are transitioning from the quizzes, I am giving you the opportunity without a stressful environment to take this first mock question and send it to us. I will explain how mock question writing works, but it's important that you understand mocks take priority. You cannot tell me that I'm doing my revision, so I will not write the mock. You cannot tell me that I'm doing the mixed quiz. I will not write the mock. You do whatever you're doing in the background, but first thing you submit the mock question. And trust me, it is doable. If it was not doable, I would not give it for homework. Everybody's clear? Yes, in the chat box, please. Thank you. Now to 6 steps of mock question writing. Whatever question you get in the exam, and I'm saying whatever, any question you get in the exam, you will follow these 6 steps of writing. I don't want you to move away from these 6 steps. So what are these 6 steps? The first step is be professional. We teach this in the operational management and strategic level, same method. But technicalities change because the OCS, MCS, and SCS has different technicalities. But timed writing, timed explanation pretty much remains the same. So nothing really changes. First step for everybody is be professional. From your pre-scene quiz, from your mixed quiz, you should have already drilled it into your mind that you are the senior finance manager working at Daystruck. This is your job. This is your company. This is your day-to-day job. This is your company. And you will only be able to play the role of a senior finance manager if you have gone through the pre-scene multiple times. Otherwise, your answer will be very, very generic, not related to Daystruck, and you will not get any marks. Everything that you write, you have to hammer it into your mind that I'm the senior finance manager at Daystruck, and everything will be relevant for Daystruck that I write. Clear? This is the first step. Everybody, yes, in the chat box after every step, please. So anything that you write, if you feel it's generic, if you feel it's not related to my company, don't write it. It has to be relevant to Daystruck. Second, so in the first step itself, second point is that you are the senior finance manager. They are asking you the question because they don't know the answer to the question. So you can't jumble it up and make it extra confusing for them. Your writing, which you see in my pre-scene quiz or the mixed quiz suggested answers, you will see the writing is very, very simple. Presentation is very, very good because my job is to explain it to the person who is reading the answer. I can't make it more difficult for the person who is reading. Then what's the point of asking a senior finance manager? They can get the answer from Google also. They are asking you because they want the presentation to be easy, readable, and related to our company. First step, be professional. Clear, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, please. Now comes your second step. Second step is, why are you writing the report? What is the purpose of the report? So this is where you start to go through the question and exactly figure out what they are asking from you, which means read the question to figure out the task. Read the question to find the task. If you find the task, your job will be very easy moving forward. And the task is what they have exactly asked you. I will show it to you. So these first 2 steps I call as the planning stage. And for planning, I ask, sorry guys, I've not been feeling well since a couple of days, so excuse my coughing. But coming back, sorry, where was I? Yes, planning. So these 2 steps I call as the planning stage. And for planning, all of you should take at least 12 to 15 minutes, which means out of the 60 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes are gone in reading the question and figuring out what the task is. I call it the 5 plus 10 method. I'm going to explain it to you what it means. The first 5 means that you read the entire question in the first 5 minutes. See, everybody look at the left-hand side of your screen. It's a 1.5 page question in total. 5 minutes, you can read the entire question word by word slowly. 5 minutes is enough. Yes, no in the chat box, please. Doable? Everybody, I'm asking a question. Okay. So first 5 minutes, you are going through the entire question once. You have to train yourself to do it in 5 minutes. So let's read the question. So Rasim Hamid, finance director, asks you to join him in his office. I have just returned from a board meeting. Henry Gedding was keen to discuss the impact of a new television program on our brand image. I have brought a copy of an article from today's newspaper to show you. So while I'm reading the question, I have 5 full minutes. So keep asking myself, okay, have I understood this? Fine, move on. The television show has just broadcast its 10th weekly episode. Feedback from our staff suggests that customer inquiries and interest has slowed down a little over the past 3 weeks. A deal we were negotiating with a large manufacturing organization to become their 3PL logistic provider has also come to a standstill because of negative publicity. So because of negative publicity, your demand has slowed down and a deal which you are banking on is stuck now. Okay, I'm explaining it to myself. This is 5 minutes. Remember, not even 1 minute has lapsed since I started reading. So you have enough time. Next, some board members are concerned that having this TV show ridicule our service is having an adverse effect on clients' business. I think that they may be overreacting and that there are many economic and business variables that could affect the demand. So Rasim is saying that it's not only because of this TV show. There could be many economic and business variables that are also affecting the demand. Okay. Next, the program is broadcast by Jack Media. Daystruck advertises heavily in that company's magazine. The show has a further 10 episodes to go, and some of our board members have suggested that we should leverage our advertising spend to force Jack Media to either stop broadcasting or edit all the remaining episodes. So because we advertise in their magazines, we are looking to force them. Now the actual question is coming up. This is how the task will be in the exam as well. And how do you figure out the task? You'll see the subtask 50%, 40%, 60%, 70%. I'll tell you what it means, but generally just above, 2 lines above this 50% will be your task. The task is what you have to answer. The task is exactly what they want an answer to, nothing else. So let's read the first task. Please outline the possible economic variables that could explain a sudden decrease in demand for Daystruck services. So economic variables, I have to point out, which explain a sudden decrease in demand for Daystruck's services. This is 50%. Now, what is this 50%? This is very important. Everybody, please understand this. This 50% is clearly telling you how much to write. So you will ask me how? See, in the CIMA exams, every student's exam, when you submit your answers, the entire exam, 3 questions, is first marked out of 100 marks. And then a weightage is multiplied to your score out of 100 to get your final score out of 150, where you need an 80 weighted or scaled score to pass. Now, what is this weightage? We don't know. CIMA, it's arbitrary. CIMA decides it. CIMA, puts that weightage multiplication. We don't know it. So let's not focus on what we don't know. Let's focus on what we know. We know that this exam is a total of 100 marks. Now, if it's 100 marks and there are 3 questions, what is the value of each question? Please tell me in the chat box, everybody. Total 100, 3 questions. What is the value of each question? Naturally, 100 upon 3. So 33 marks roughly is an entire question. So this entire question that you are seeing on your screen is worth 33 marks. They are telling you that out of that 33, this first task is worth 50% of those marks. So entire question is 33. The first task is 50% of those marks. So what is the value of task 1? Please tell me in the chat box, everybody. Very good. Around 16, 17 marks, because 50 upon 100 into 33. 16, 17 marks. 16 marks, let's hold. So why is this important? Because CIMA says one well-explained point, one well-explained argument gives you 2 marks. So to get 16 marks, roughly how much do I have to write? Please tell me in the chat box. One well-explained point, 2 marks. To get 16, how much will I have to write? Okay, the calculation comes up to 8 points, sorry. But I will say this is the ballpark figure. 6 to 7 well-explained points we are expecting over here. So when you read this task, you are supposed to give me 6 to 7 economic variables that could explain a sudden decrease in demand for Daystruct's services. Remember all of this, the first 5 minutes, you have read the entire question. You still have 10 minutes of your planning time remaining. So this is what you have to do in the remaining 10 minutes. The first 5 minutes, you very carefully go through the entire question. Okay. But then the focus has to be on the task. So the remaining 8 or 10 minutes that you are taking for planning, you read the task repeatedly again and again and again. Okay, they're asking me economic variables, economic variables, economic variables. Read the entire thing. This is 50% of my marks, which means I have to write 6, 7 points over here. Same way, second task is, please discuss ethical issues associated with Daystruct threatening to stop advertising in Jack Media's magazines unless the company removes these sketches from its comedy program. So ethical issues, if we threaten Jack Media's magazine, this is again 50% of your marks. Everything that you have to write, for example, the first economic variable you write interest rate. Interest rate changes can affect my demand, right? So 3-4 line explanation relating it to Daystruct is called a well-explained, well-detailed point. Same way for the second task, you have to give me 6 well-explained points to get your credit. So everybody, the first 5 minutes, you are reading the entire question. The remaining 8 or 10 minutes, you are focusing on the task only. Read the task again and again and again so that you don't falter or give them anything that is not asked. They've asked you economic variables that can affect my demand. So you have to give them economic variables. Same way, ethical issues has been asked. So you have to give them ethical issues. You give them anything else apart from ethical issues, you are not going to get your marks. You are not going to get your credit. It is very important to understand that not every question is going to have a technical model that you're supposed to use. For example, economic variable, you just have to give me simple business sense economic variables that could affect my business. Same way, ethical issues, I will give you all a hint. Ethical issues straight away should come to your mind, the CIMA code of ethics, which you've done in E3 and P3. That is the code of ethics which every company of good practice should follow. So you can take the CIMA code of ethics, mold it to this answer and put it over here. Remember, you have to give an answer related to Daystruct, but keeping in mind the question. The question is ethical issues associated with threatening to stop advertising in Jack Media's magazine. So if I threaten Jack Media if I threaten to stop advertising in Jack Media, unless they remove this program, what will be the ethical issues? That is what they are asking you. Are we all clear? Yes, in the chat box, please. Anywhere you get stuck, always remember, somebody is asking you this question at work. How will you answer it? How will you present your answer? How will you present your explanation? That's how I will ask you to do it. Remember, you're only on point number 2 or step number 2. You have not started to write the answer yet. So, first 5 minutes, read through the entire question. Remaining 8 or 10 minutes, you are reading through the task again and again and again and figuring out that, okay, this task, I'm going to write this much. This task, I'm going to write this much. Over here, it's 50%. It could be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't care because my calculation remains the same. Whatever the percentage is, upon 100 into 33, because each question is 33 marks. This is very important to understand. If you have understood this, please give me a yes in the chat box, everybody. Okay. So now moving to step number 3, where you actually start to write, where you actually start to put something on the piece of paper. And this we call the title. The title has absolutely 0 marks. The subject line or title or whatever you want to call it, it has absolutely 0 marks. So please do not spend excessive time on it. 20 seconds, the title should be out. Over here, it can be economic variables and ethical issues discussed. Whatever you want to write, but it should obviously be relevant to the task. This is step number 3. Everybody's clear with it? Yes, in the chat box, please. Thank you. Step number 4 is the introduction. Now, I will over here tell you that the introduction is optional. If you have a very good typing speed and you're confident about the answer, go ahead and do the introduction. The introduction is worth 0 marks. The introduction is where you are supposed to tell me what your answer is going to include. So in this report, I will be speaking about the economic variables that could cause the sudden decrease. So this is exactly the task. Sudden decrease in days struck services. I will go on and speak about ethical issues of threatening Jack Media. This I will say is optional because the introduction has no marks. So if you feel you know this answer, if you feel your typing speed is good, go with the introduction. If not, you can skip the introduction, come to the task straight away, come to the body straight away. And then in the end, if you have some time, go back and do the introduction. Clear, everybody? Step number 4, optional introduction. Are we all clear? Thank you. Now to step number 5. This is where entire remaining 42, 43 minutes that you have will go, which is answering the task. And how do you have to answer it? By providing simple subheadings. So what's the first task? Economic variables. So you gave your subheading, and under it, can you tell me one economic variable? Everyone, can you tell me one relevant economic variable? Very good. Everybody's given me inflation. Remember, you have to explain how inflation will affect our demand. You can write oil rates, whatever you want to write, unemployment rates, whatever you want to write. Your explanation you will do. Interest rates. I pretty much gave you the answer here. Whatever you want to write, political, it should be relevant. If you can put down the point and then make it relevant to the question, whatever you have written, we have to give you the marks. There is no wrong or right in the case study. We have to give you the marks if it's right and it's relevant to the question. So for example, if you're writing political, tell me how political influences could have affected my demand. So you can say that the government might have released some rule which is increasing the tax on 3PL logistic provider services. So it's become more expensive for clients to employ 3PL, logistic providers. This could be one of the reasons why demand has fallen. You write that, you'll get your marks. There is no relation to E3, P3 and F3 over here. You can write whatever you want to write, but make it relevant to the question. Are we all clear with this? Yes, in the chat box, please. Do not make everything a big bowl of mush and submit it. Nobody wants to read that. I want presentation, simple, easy subheadings, as you can see. And after the first task ends, you straight away go to the second task, ethical issues. Start whatever you want to write. Naturally, I've already given you the hint. You have to use the CIMA code of ethics over here. I'm giving you the hint, but how you write it is what I want to see. So the body is where you answer the task. All your marks are going to be based on how you answer the task. If it's the best possible introduction on earth, 0 marks. If it's the best possible title, 0 marks. The marks will only be awarded on how you have answered the task. Am I clear with this? Yes, in the chat box, please, everybody. This is step number 5. Now, step number 6. Step number 6 is conclusion or recommendation, whatever you want to call it. As a senior finance manager, a lot of importance is placed on your conclusion, your recommendation. So after you write your ethical issues, 5-6 ethical issues that are needed, you can end your answer by saying, according to me, a large company like Daystruck should never violate the code of ethics, as it would affect our reputation and market capitalization in case of negative reviews. This is your conclusion for task number 2. Same way, you should give me a conclusion for task number 1, saying that according to me, these are the major economic variables which can affect the Daystruck's services. Let's remove the, it's wrong English. Affect Daystruck services. So you see, your opinion, if they've asked you in certain questions, they will tell you, according to you, what should be done. So then naturally you have to write the recommendation. You have no choice. But in questions like this, where they've not explicitly asked you, but as a senior finance manager, this is the difference in the SCS from the MCS, from the OCS. You are expected to give your perspective as well. Are we clear? Yes, in the chat box, please. Step number 6, this was. And then you end your answer by saying, if you need anything else, do let me know. Senior finance manager. No need to write your name. This is mock question writing. Nothing different from the pre-scene quiz or the mixed quiz where you're looking at a specific task and expanding on the same. It's just that you have a structure now. It's just that you know you have to write 5-6 points now. Everything else, pretty much writing remains writing. So I hope you found this video helpful. It's created by a tuition provider who has the Global Pass Rate Excellence Award, which is ourselves. So it's valuable information, it's valid information, which you can take on board, learn from it, and then naturally showcase your skills when you write the mini mock with us or when you sign up with us to one of our courses. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't try to write the mock. Like I said, this whatever discussion you are seeing, don't try to write that particular question. It's not related to the November-February exam. We are going to give you a mini mock at the end of this course, which will be very specific to Kapkar, and all of our 25 mock questions that students will do with us for practice will be very, very relevant for November and Feb only. This is for sample purposes that we have showcased these videos to you. Thank you.